Welcome to this fourth video in this series about the Hexaflex from acceptance and commitment therapy. So far, we have covered 3 of 6 central issues in the Hexaflex. We first looked at fusion versus diffusion, the second was self as content versus self as context, and the third was avoidance versus acceptance. And now the fourth, past/future versus present. For the record, acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, focuses on promoting psychological flexibility. One aspect of this flexibility is being present in the current moment rather than getting caught up in the past or future. As we all know, the past is the past and is impossible to alter. And the future is just that, the future. And still, both past and future can represent a basis for personal trouble. So, here are some points on present versus past/future within the context of ACT. First, a little explanation of what we mean by past/future. The past refers to memories, regrets, and reflections of the past. It's things we have done or experienced. It can be both physical and emotional, the inaccessible. In the same way, the future encompasses anticipations, plans, worries, and hopes. They can represent challenges and fear of what is coming, the unknown. Getting excessively entangled in the past can lead to rumination and regret. And, as we said, the inaccessible. It is not possible to change the past. Even though we want to, need to, or feel obligated to change it, the past still stays the past. Over-focusing on the future can result in excessive worry, anxiety, and missed current opportunities. Luckily, the future is unknown. How would it be like to know what's coming? Would the worrying become more accessible, or would the planning be any different? Well, if we knew what was lying ahead, why plan? But we could increase the worrying. While ACT doesn't disregard the significance of the past and future, it promotes a balanced relationship with them. It encourages recognizing when past or future thinking is unhelpful and shifting focus back to the present. It's not about negating the past or future, but recognizing when they dominate thinking and behavior in ways that are unhelpful or misaligned with values. Past experiences can be informative and provide lessons, but they shouldn't dictate one's identity or worth. Planning for the future is vital, but constant future-oriented worry can prevent engagement with the present. Then we return to Ted. He has a past filled with bad experiences. His memory has numerous examples of bad things that he wishes he could fix and do in another way. During his time, he has lost countless opportunities. Most were because he didn't dare to put himself out there. Some of these opportunities have been lost for real. And that gives him an actual basis for his regrets. He knows that some of the things he is afraid of actually have happened. So he meets his worst fears every time a situation that reminds him of previous failures. The same goes for former bad experiences and former bad people encounters. Ted can vividly imagine the same situations happening in the future. And he ruminates on the possible new losses. And as he fears the future, he sees himself doing the same over again. Imagine what would happen if Ted, instead of constantly ruminating on a past mistake or worrying about a future event, used the ACT techniques to guide him to acknowledge those thoughts, but then gently redirect focus to the current activity or situation. Being in the present means being fully engaged and aware of the current moment without judgment. It's about experiencing the here and now. Being present is fundamentally about mindfulness. This involves being aware of your current experiences with openness, interest, and receptiveness. Mindfulness in ACT is about noticing what's happening at the moment without judgment. Often, mindfulness is seen as taking time to relax and concentrate. If you use the traditional or professional approach, you would talk about mindfulness exercises that ground individuals in the present moment. Breath-focused practices. Engaging fully in a current activity with all senses. It doesn't have to be just that. It can also be standing in a doorway and just standing still for a few moments. It can be focusing on how today is and then going on with the tasks at hand, or it can be noticing how the breathing goes and how the mind is working right now. The benefits of being present are a reduction in rumination and worry, increased clarity on one's current situation, needs, and values, and enhanced ability to take meaningful actions in line with one's values. Being present also has elements of diffusion. We talked about diffusion in video 2 of this series. The focus on here and now will give you the distance from your thoughts and thereby have a diffusion effect. And because you are occupied with the moment, you will be able to observe your thoughts without getting entangled with them, recognizing thoughts as what they are, just thoughts. So whether you sit down and relax, stop in a doorway, or take a moment to watch the day, you will be connecting to the present moment. Current experiences will be your focus instead of past experiences or worrying about the future. In a way, it gives you the possibility to check your current feelings and accept them as they are. Focusing on the present allows you to learn how to make room for different thoughts and feelings, understanding that trying to avoid or change them often leads to distress. As you develop your ability to be in the present moment, you will be able to act according to your values. Sometimes you will succeed in this, and sometimes you will fail. But you will be able to develop a compassionate self-awareness that gives you wiggle room to be kind and understanding to yourself. The more you practice to be present, the more you will experience increased flexibility. And the more flexible you get, the more you can engage in your life. When you are an active participant in your life, you will have a richer experience and the possibility to make the most out of each moment. For Ted, this means he faces his past challenges and future scares. And he doesn't do it easily. It's a struggle, and it is scary, but as he goes through new experiences, he can build a new set of experiences. He continues choosing according to his values and dares to watch his thoughts and experiences as something that will always be there, but he can choose to go by his values instead of his experiences. If we use a metaphor to describe what Ted could do, we would say that he can observe the thoughts like clouds in the sky and focus on the steady blue instead. In real life, this often comes down to an internal discussion. What is my focus, and how does this focus align with my goals? If they align, then we move forward. If they do not, we choose another path. In ACT, the present moment is where action can be taken, choices can be made, and life can be fully lived. While the past provides lessons and the future holds aspirations, consistently anchoring oneself in the present can lead to a richer, more flexible, and values-driven life.